Hello Virgo, welcome to your bonus reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Strength, 9 of Wands, commitment, a promise. Yeah, you took an oath. You have... You've committed yourself to something that is requiring all of your strength, right? You're not someone that breaks your promises. You're not somebody that goes back on your word, right? So you're involved in something that I think is taking a lot out of you. It really is requiring you to put in the work, do the hard work. It seems like it might be not so rewarding at times, okay? But there is a sense of purpose here. There's a sense of you're doing the right thing. Yeah. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Okay. Let's see what else might be coming through with that. Well, now we've got a Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is looking at the past. Yeah. So that's interesting. As you're involved in this very... it's almost like you're out here just really doing this manual labor, right? And it's just really taxing. But while you're doing it, it's sort of, I don't know if it's giving you time or if it's unlocking something in you that's allowing you to sort of think about the past, right? To understand sort of your life's journey. The Queen of Cups is also a card about emotional transparency. It's about radical self-acceptance. Yeah. Radical self-love. Okay. It was very interesting, these two cards together. And perhaps this is a commitment that you've made also to yourself. Yeah. To always be on the path that is healthy for you. Okay. To always live a life that is a life of love and a life of healing, a life of health, right? Do not get yourself tangled up in anything that's going to be detrimental to your well-being, emotional well-being, but generally as a whole organism. Yeah. What I want to do now is select an angel number card for you. These are a great way to start the readings. Your angel number is 5555. Clarity, great transformation, major changes, opportunity, fast pace forward, process. You aren't a victim of circumstance, rather, you are the beneficiary of it. If that weren't the case, life would be pretty dull. You will set yourself up for success in the long run if you are willing to adapt to this shift. Everything is working out for the best. At long last, you are accomplishing what you set out to do. Everything will work out perfectly in the end. So it could be that you're coming to the end of this 9 of Wands responsibility. It's a 9 after all, very close to the 10. And maybe now as you're sort of putting the finishing touches on this, getting close to the completion of this commitment, you're wondering, what's next? You're fishing down in your own depths for what is going to spark your interest, your curiosity, what you're going to commit to, what your next task is going to be. Yeah. Let's keep going with our cards. We've got the Moon card underneath. There's the 10 of Wands that we were looking for, an 8 of Wands, sure, and an 8 of Swords. So there is a fast pace. Okay, this is the Eight of Wands. It's a card of swiftness. But if we are blocked in our own decision making, right, if we can't make up our minds, this creative energy is blocked and it becomes anxiety. Okay. So as we begin to transition from, because that's what this is, great transformation, major changes, fast pace forward. Your current path is coming to an end. Your current commitment is coming to a close, and we're getting this anxiety thing, and I better hurry up and figure out what I'm going to do, right? If there is anything, Virgo, that you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay. Let's lay out the rest of our cards. Path of the Serpent. There we go. There's clarity. That's a nice surprise, isn't it? Right? We had this, we're starting to get worried. I was starting to get worried, right? We had the 8, we got the 8, we got the Moon card here. There's some confusion, there's some uncertainty, there's some anxiety, but now we've got clarity. We've got a realization. We've got a new commitment. The 5 of Cups is, well, that's in the position of what you don't want, right? And you've got the Hanged Man. You're looking for new ways to be of service. I'm kind of shocked to see that. Because I felt like, with the 9 of Wands and your Queen of Cups, that you've already been of service, that you've already like this was your path where you're like volunteering or you're interning, right? Now this is coming to a close and now you get to do something for you. Yeah. But what I see is that you're looking for the next way that you can be of service. Maybe that is doing something for you. Maybe that is your way of fulfilling yourself, is to always be thinking of yourself in the context of your environment, of the people around you, of your fellow human beings, your fellow life forms, that you feel fulfilled when you are working hard to sort of to alleviate the suffering of others, to improve the quality of life for others. Maybe that's the 5 of Cups we have in the position of what we don't want, but it's what we need. We don't want suffering. We don't want sorrow. But we sort of need it because it gives us something to work with, right? Something to work against, I guess. It's almost like, I don't know, if you're a healer, if you are you're somebody that works with patients, you're a caregiver, you work with animals maybe. I think it's your will, your work, part of your identity, to help people. Okay? That it has a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment for you to be of service, to help people, to alleviate suffering, to, in some ways try to rid the world of suffering. Well, we know that's not possible, right? So we sort of need the 5 of Cups, because the 5 of Cups is what gives us our purpose, because there are people out there in the world, animals maybe, or plants. You're a caregiver, a healer in some way. It doesn't have to be just like, healthcare. You don't have to work in a hospital or something, but it could be that. But you need something out in the world that needs you, right? So that you can then fulfill that need, and it fulfills you, and it's helping this other energy. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a pet, a plant, whatever. That's very interesting. I'm surprised by that. Not because you're not a compassionate person or an empathic person, but I guess it's my personal bias. I was expecting, okay, that this big commitment is over. Now you get to enjoy yourself for a little while. Now you get to sort of take a vacation or take a break or indulge in your own pleasures, right? But I feel like you're right back to work, right back to the next thing, because that brings you this sense of identity, this sense of purpose. Yeah. I like that very much. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here and put Mr. Ed, our little horse, right on top. Now, I'm getting the impression from Spirit that there are some personality clashes at whatever your work kind of environment is. Yeah. That I think in some way we're kind of, we're glad that this one's wrapping up, because you almost feel like, okay, there's too much tension here now. It's like it's time for it to go. It's time for you to kind of move on to the next thing. And I think that's really the fire energy that we see in these couple of places here, giving me a little bit of that impression. Looking around the room here, we see two major arcana energies. We see the uncertainty or the confusion or that dark, scary forest inside of you. Then, of course, we see the Hanged Man. And I wonder if the moon is kind of this card of, the next transition. It's like you don't really know what you're walking into. And it's kind of the way it always is. This moon card inside of you, that's the next step that we're taking, always into this dark, scary force. Now, it could be that you are a first responder. It could be that you're a business consultant or something like this. Because I feel like when you take on a job, you don't know what it really is until you get there and you can look around and you can assess the situation and figure out what it needs to feel better, right? To do better, to be better, to grow or to heal or whatever. And maybe that's what you really like about your work or about your life or about your approach to life. You like the uncertainty. You like the unpredictability. And that's, to me, that's moon energy. That's where we can't really see what's beyond this doorway, but we're taking the step anyway. And once we get there, of course, we are that light that is going to illuminate this dark, scary forest. Okay? So in that sense, you are a healer, but it's almost like you're a guide. Maybe you're guiding others to their own healing. Rather than maybe directly healing, you're sort of, you're the light that is going to allow other people to find their way. Yeah. And so this is interesting what the work is that you do. Yeah. This is a card that is kind of, it's prompting you. It's saying, okay, it's time to go on to the next thing. It's time to take that step into the next darkness. That I think tensions are sort of on the rise here, and it's kind of like, when it's time to go. You kind of know when you're starting to overstay your welcome. You don't want to be the person that stays too long at the party, and the host they're trying to clean up already, and they're yawning and trying to hint to you that it's time to leave, and you're just kind of sitting there on the couch asking for another glass of wine or whatever. You don't want to be that person. So you know how to take your cue. And I think you can feel that coming, The 10 of Wands in the background. This is your connection with another party, another energy. Okay? Every time I see this, I want to call it a 2 of Wands because it feels like it's 2 against the world, right? So it's you entering into a combination with somebody else or something else to facilitate a healing or a catharsis or some sort of a recovery or a restoration. Okay? You could be a therapist, you could be a physical therapist, an emotional, mental, psychological therapist, anything like this, a spiritual healer. Whatever it might be, it's you entering into combination with somebody to sort of to fight against whatever that opposing energy is, right? That you're there standing side by side with somebody, sort of saying like, look, we're gonna step into this together. We're gonna do this together, right? And then you'll take that step, and then we'll start doing the work or the activity or whatever, and then you kind of like let that person go off on their own, and see that they're kind of able to sort of take over. Does that make sense? Maybe you do some kind of training or something too. It could be that. But then I think if we linger too long there, then it's kind of like maybe this other energy creates a kind of an attachment or a reliance on you that it's not supposed to be part of the work, that you need to know when to step away at the right moment. It's like you're teaching someone to ride a bike. You need to know when to sort of let go and step back and let them ride. And then when you just kind of sit down and just say, okay, now you know what you're doing. You know when your energy is needed and when it's important for you to let go. Yeah. And now that we're in this sort of transitional space, we got this Eight of Wands. There's a lot of possibilities. There may be a chance to relocate in your future. Okay. There's a lot of options for you. You can take your energy, your skill and talent, any direction you want to in life. Okay. I feel like you are kind of an independent person, that you're a sole proprietor, you're a contractor, whatever it might be. Okay. You're a free agent here. That you can kind of, you can take on whatever jobs or contracts you want to. And that's what we're doing with the Queen of Cups, is we're trying to ask ourselves what it is that we need, right? Because it's almost as if that you're healing by helping others to heal. So you're picking these activities, these commitments, these jobs, or whatever they are. You're picking those based on what you need. Does that make sense to you? And the Eight of Wands up here is a card of swiftness. It's a fast pace. I don't feel like you like to linger in between your commitments. Maybe that's why I don't see you like taking a day off and just hanging out. Okay. I don't feel like you enjoy the downtime, really. I feel like you like to keep going. Yeah. Because otherwise I feel that there is this anxiety that gets created. Now, that's what we're looking at with the Eight of Swords here. That if we can't pick on or decide the next commitment, there is this increasing anxiety. Okay. And the Eight of Swords, of course, is this analysis. And I wonder if this is kind of the obstacle for you, really, is trying to not let your mind take up the task of deciding what's next. Okay? That it's kind of, you got to feel with your heart. You've got to understand what you need, because that's going to compel you to move in a certain direction. It's not a logical thing. We're not going to do the math, and we're not going to weigh the pros and cons here. Right? You're going to feel it. What do you need in your soul? What does the Queen of Cups tell you that you need? Okay? And that's going to decide what you do next. And there's a clarity here where we're not trying to figure it out, because if the more we think about it, the more I don't even know. So we have to figure out how to put down that mentalization, right? And just let the water flow. Okay? And I like this card too, because it's the Queen of Cups, right? Because it is that emotional transparency. It is radical self-love and radical self-acceptance. And it's not even it doesn't even have to be self-love or self-acceptance. It's just radical love and radical acceptance. Not just for self, right? So it's kind of like you're not judging anybody. You're taking everybody that needs help. You're there to help them. You're not like, you know what I mean? You're accepting everybody and everything. Yeah. And so when we get the eights here, we have to look within to find out what our choices, or what things we usually are drawn to, what things we usually commit to. What does that say about us? What types of, connections or jobs or contracts or people or whatever, right? Which ones are you consistently choosing? Where is it that your own karma, let's say, your own energy is leading you to? Because there's a pattern there. That's why the Queen is a card that asks us to look at the past. Okay? Because you're out here forming connections with people that need your help or your service or your commitment. what do those choices say about what's going on with you, deep down in you? Okay. And this may not really be related to work or to your, it may not literally be a contract, or that sort of thing, or a project. The things that you link up with, the things that you enter into that combination with is 10, right? They feel like projects to me, okay? The people that we're always, or the issues that we're always trying to sort of fix or heal in others are the things that we need to fix and heal within ourselves. Okay? I think that's generally the message. Let's look at the path of the serpent, though, because we have a clarity here. We have our Ace of Swords. Okay? And the Ace of Swords is not really looking for an answer. We're not really asking the questions as far as the Eight of Swords is concerned. Okay? That there is a recognition of what your life's purpose is, what your mission is in life. So I think there is a deep, almost a spiritual realization, not so much an intellectual answer, but a spiritual realization or revelation about why you end up choosing to enter into the combinations that you enter into, what it says about you. So it's leading you to a deeper sense of your own identity. Okay. The Ace of Swords is also telling you to journal, right? This is the pen and the sword, okay? And we know that the sword can be used to divide, it can be used to analyze. We split things apart, we dissect things, to look inside, see what's really going on there. It's also a tool that can bring things together. There is a unity here, right? A unity of purpose. That we have looked inside of ourselves and we've realized who we are and why we're here. What we're made of, right? And what we're supposed to do with this life. Yeah. And I think that this is kind of, it maybe comes as a surprise to you, as it did with me when the Ace of Swords came out of the tarot pack, and I said, whoa, okay. Problem and, well, solution. We feel trapped. We feel sort of stuck in a loop or in a pattern here. We don't know what to do, really. We don't know what to connect with next. Immediately, there's the solution. We're able to cut those bindings and be free, because you're realizing who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is, what your mission is. And then, of course, we have in the environment the Three of Wands, your identity, that you're realizing that the people you seek out in life are you. The people you're trying to help out in the world is your own self. Okay? So you're beginning to understand your motivations for why we do the things we do, why we enter into combinations, partnerships, relationships, business things, friendships, conflicts even, right? Especially the conflicts. I feel like with the fire energy here, there is a tendency to some conflicts, and it kind of feels that when that conflict starts to sort of happen, starts to build up a little bit, and you can feel that tension starting to grow, I think that's when you say, okay, my time here is done. Yeah. I think it's giving you a stronger sense of what you are meant to do in this life. Yeah. And that Five of Cups in the position of the energy we don't want, but the energy we need. Right? And maybe when we're over here on the path of the Dove, we don't want the Five of Cups. We don't want to feel any kind of disappointment or suffering or sorrow or any kind of emotional turmoil or injury. We don't want to feel sad at all. We've got to be strong because we're helping others. We're entering into these combinations as the healer, as the helper. Then over here we realize that, hey, maybe I need healing too. Maybe the people that I'm seeking out to help are are just sort of stand-ins for myself, and I'm trying to help myself too at the same time. And I believe that this card is also here because it's basically saying that there will always be suffering in the world. And your compassion, your empathy, always going to be needed in the world. Yeah. Always going to be needed. And of course we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is sort of going with the flow. The Hanged Man is saying, this is my life and I accept it. And I'm here to be the best version of myself that I can be, so that I can be of the most service to the world, in whatever capacity that is, right? You've got to discover your gift, and then you've got to give it away, right? That's the greatest work of life, is to figure out why you're here, and then to, of course, to share that energy with, to do what you're meant to do, right? Because the world needs your energy. And so I like now, I haven't been looking at our angel number card, but this is the card that says clarity, right? And that's the Ace of Swords, clarity. A great transformation, a major change. You aren't the victim, you're the beneficiary, right? So we have this idea of sacrifice. We have this idea of you giving to others, healing to others, providing a service to other people, but you're benefiting from that because you're healing too, right? You're accomplishing what you set out to do. You're accomplishing your will. Now that we know what that will is, it's going to go a lot faster, you know? Everything will work out perfectly in the end. I want to look at our mystery card. I'm sort of expecting some earth energy here because we don't have any. I think we need some. I think we need a little surprise gift, right? I feel like Spirit wants to give you a token of appreciation. Yeah. If you have a prediction for this card, put it in the comments. Here we go. Oh, it's an 8. An 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups shows the hermit walking away from something, right? Walking away from 8 cups. Walking away from a 5. Also from a 3. Right? I feel like what the hermit did over here was the hermit put all these cups upright. I feel like they were all scattered around, knocked over. And you come in and you set everything up the way it's supposed to be. Right? You put the cups upright. And then you say, my work is done. And then you can walk and seek out the next opportunity to do that, right? And it's a 5 of Cups and a 3 of Cups. It's the sadness and disappointment, and it's the joy. So whatever you're doing in life for other people, it involves restoring to the proper perspective both the joy and the sorrow of life. Cannot have one without the other. So I feel like you help people to truly experience joy and happiness in life, but then also to acknowledge and accept those more uncomfortable feelings, right? To process those emotions, both sides of the coin. You restore things to their proper order, the proper sort of perspective or organization. You stack the cups back up the way they need to be. And then you sort of move on to the next thing. Yeah. Very interesting representation of your kind of your energy right now in the world. Yeah. I like this. I think this is a nice surprise. I feel like this is also something that you're working to establish within yourself. Okay? And it's an alchemical process. Whatever the alchemist is doing with the physical materials and chemicals and elements and compounds and stuff, it's the same transformative process happening inside. Yeah. And we need to recognize that, and I think it'll change the way you're looking at your life and about your purpose and your future. We're going to do an extended reading real quick if you want to stick around. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Virgo Tuesdays and Saturdays. This was a special update for you. I feel like this was needed. Yeah, I feel that there was an important element of this that you needed to know right away. Okay. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. It supports the channel. I appreciate that. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this